You could save a life. You could also very well take a life. Very simple actions. It can be not necessarily the prime catalyst, but at least one of the things that can swing a life in one of the directions of either life or death. Being able to continue to bring happiness and joy to others, or ending it now. Just all remember that we could always be the last straw, either way. Just a little act of kindness could be the one thing that helps someone get rehabilitated, that allows them to open up and consider alternatives. But you could also just as likely be the last thing, that last bit of hate that causes someone to end it. First of all, let me just ask, what good does it do? What good does it do to just kind of be a jackass? To just bully people for having mental illness, or just saying that you're weak or whatever. I know I've been rehashing this for a while, but I feel like it's a very important message, especially after people I've talked to recently, that people need to understand this idea. Your words have action. Your words and actions have consequences. Everything you do influences something else or someone else in certain ways. We need to start actually taking self-responsibility. A lot of people who peddle this idea of self-responsibility are the very ones that will not take responsibility for their own actions. The type of people to hire a hitman and say that they're not the reason someone died, it's the hitman's fault. No, it is your fault. You're the one that started it. You're the one that forced this person to act like this. You're the one that caused them at least to act like this or think like this. It's your fault. It is your fault. You have blame on your hands. You have blood on your hands. Like, look at like Keemstar. He just tried to just cope and pretend like he didn't have to do with Etika's death, but he did. He most certainly did. He might have been the only one to do it. He's one of the biggest ones. He egged him on for months. Egged him, pushing him, and pushing him further and further and further. And he won't even really admit that he was at fault. He still won't, even to this day. And just why even do it? Does this make you feel good? Does it make you feel good to just be a jackass? Does it make you feel good to just be a bully? Why? A lot of people I know that are shackled by this idea are also religious. But every religion would say not to do that. Every religion would say that human life is very important. Like that humans are created in God's image. That's why you can't get abortions, for example. How is it much better that you're ending a life because you just want to be a jackass? Is that really much better? Or philosophies like utilitarianism, Kantianism, or even, I believe, Stoicism. They wouldn't tell you to just be a jackass and be part of the reason that someone killed themselves. They would not say to do that. Each and every one of us has at least probably once in their life. At least I know I haven't once in my life. I could have saved a life, and I did. I won't say I saved them, but I at least did what I could to make sure that they didn't lose their life. Each of us probably has had this happen in a more subtle way, though. It's that little bit of hate that we put, just a little bit, pushing the button, just a little bit more, could just add on to their plate, just add on to that stack until it eventually topples over. I mean, suicide is usually caused by, I believe, at least one of two things: either mental health or by hate. And I know this firsthand. I know someone who died from both, but especially from hate. I was gonna have this video about it, but I'd rather not, talk about it for like 10 minutes. But just know that they died a couple of years ago on November 9th of 2021 because of hatred, because of people egging them on, pushing them, not caring about how they feel, saying that they're weak, saying that they don't deserve to feel sadness. I have to live with this now for the rest of my life. But I use this as motivation to keep going, to say, no, I will not let this happen to others. I must inform people. There's someone who died by hate. Etika, he is someone who died by hate. He is someone who died by essentially internet bullying or cyberbullying. A lot of people say cyberbullying isn't really a thing or important thing. Oftentimes, it's a little bit over exaggerated, but not always. Some people just don't have the self control, or like because of just how entrenched sociality is now with social media, it can be very hard to leave it. It's addicting. It's truly addicting. It's like a drug. You know what's wrong for you. You know you need to let go, but it's just too hard. It's just too deeply hooked into you. You just can't let go. Well, Kalief Browder, he died by systemic hate. Hatred from his country, hatred from his community. That he was lesser because of his skin. That's how he died. Or others who didn't as much, I'd say, die by hate. Capital Steez and Evelyn McHale. Capital Steez died from mental health. People didn't truly take him seriously enough. Just thinking he was going insane, because he was. People who get to truly suicidal states, it destroys your brain. It truly messes your brain up. I think the same thing happened at Etika. It messes your brain up. It can give you definitely make you think that you are a god and that you might be reincarnated or something. Steve said that he'd be reincarnated in 2047. His wasn't as much of hate, it's just mental health, unchecked mental health. Or Evelyn McHale. I know her from this image. It's a very, very famous image of suicide. I do think the name is a little bit problematic, saying it's the most beautiful suicide, because suicide, I don't think ever should be considered beautiful. I want to back, just to reiterate one more time. What is the point of this? What is the point of just being a jackass? What matters more, for example, money or life? What matters more? A small, instant, little bit of joy. You might think, oh, it's funny. Oh, it's funny. Ha ha ha. Poke fun at the person who has mental issues. Or the long term, having a human being be able to do so much more good. It's like making fun of someone with cancer. But in this case, you can actually help them. You can directly help them and possibly save their life. You're choosing not to. You're just choosing to add to the cancer cells. You're just choosing to make it go faster and faster, and then not take any responsibility for it. You did it. You won't take responsibility for it. We need to stop normalizing. Honestly, just being a jackass. And stop normalizing talking on the internet like our action. Just talking in general, like our words have no impact. Like it's on them. It's only their fault if they decide to take it the wrong way. Oh, it's just a joke. No. If you really want to be a better person, a bigger person, you gotta also say, hey, I also had some impact in it. I also influenced it. It doesn't mean you have to now punish yourself or torture yourself. Just you need to grow from it. I once asked someone who I know. She's a political activist. She's been working this for decades now. I asked her about a case where I believe I hurt someone, how I can then repair it, how I can pay back my debt to society. And she said that, well, you can't change the past. You can try to apologize to the person if they don't respond. It's not inherently on you, especially if they're dead, I guess. You just need to take what you've learned from that experience and make sure that you don't repeat it. Yeah, it was spiked by something she had said. I believe it was someone went up to Gandhi, and because he had this Jewish man had killed a Muslim boy. Pretty sure it was Gandhi. It was someone important. They said that what you have to do to repay your debt, what you have to do to be able to really apologize almost, is you have to not raise a Muslim boy as a Muslim. You took a life, now you need to raise a life. You hurt someone's heart, you hurt their self-esteem and who they are, now you need to help someone else. Whether it's someone that has a complete lack of it, or that needs help growing it. Think of this now as a call for action. If you hurt someone, and you probably have, most people have, you really need to look inwards, really self-reflect on your own life. Shed your ego and say, I hurt someone, but I'm going to make up for it. I'm going to take what I learned, make sure I not only never do it again, but also heal someone else. I repay my debt to society.